Good afternoon, everybody. How's everybody doing this afternoon, this evening, this morning, depending on whether or not you're listening to me at that appropriate time? I hope everybody's doing all right. I know I am. I've had a pretty good Sunday. And going to be talking today about, going to be going through the podcast. Going to be talking about what's on screen right now at the moment. Going to be talking about, hey, ¿qué onda, mi amorcita? My fiance has joined us. Hello, hello, hello. Going to be talking about my meeting today with a lovely young lady that wanted to find out what her collection was worth. She wanted to get more information, wanted to know where she could get that information, and so I let her know all of the above, and I also managed to buy one card off her at a very reasonable price, basically at market, because I didn't want to take advantage of her. I wanted to let her know that I was a resource, and so that's what I did. But I'll be going through all of that during the podcast portion. So if you guys stick around, you guys will be able to listen to all that. So yeah, let's go ahead and get here. Okay, so that's basically sitting there ready to record. I think everything should be running, but just in case, I'm gonna go ahead and reconnect to all of my chats. So disconnect, connect. I'm gonna go through everything. Yep. So that one should be connected. Next, disconnect, connect, connected. Very good. Next one to disconnect, connect. I think that one should be working. Hey, Smoke It Out, what's going on? Go ahead and connect that one. Go ahead and grab. Cool. Done, done, and done. Okay, let me go ahead and do Facebook real quick. Facebook is connected. Alright, so everything should be good to go. For some reason it still says one of them is not connecting, which is saying that it is Twitch. So let me go ahead and log on to Twitch real quick. Let me make sure that this is not the case. Let me make sure that I can see everything. Cool, cool, cool. I'm going to go over some of the stuff that I saw today. Alright, well, let's see if this works. Reconnect. There he goes. Alright, cool. Alright, live. Cool, cool, cool. Everybody's on. Very good. Everything looks copacetic. Very nice. All right, here we go. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and cue up la música. Really fast. Alright, is this volume okay? Can you guys still hear me alright? Can I turn it up a little? Does it sound like I should be turning it up a small bit? Is this too loud? Can you guys still hear me all right? Let's see, gonna go ahead and update all my stuff while you guys are responding. Copy link. Maybe it's too loud because you guys can't hear me. It's a little loud. Right there's too loud. You should be able to hear me pretty clearly, but still be somewhat entertained by what you're hearing as far as music goes, even though it may or may not be your cup of tea as far as music is concerned. Because the music is free, copyright, and exactly. Entertained? Maybe that's too strong a word. We'll see. Let's see here. LOL. Exactly. Let's go to Pikachu's treasure hunt. Let's post that right there. Paste. And I don't know how I feel about the random voices coming in every now and again. It's pretty odd, I feel. Let's see here. And all right. Okay, I think I'm ready. Alrighty. Alrighty. Okay. And away I go. Alright, everything's there. Okay. Alright. And alright, I'm going to start recording onto my computer. I'm going to go ahead and restart this. So I'm going to be able to cut in and out from whatnot. So here I go. Good afternoon, evening, morning, everybody. Hope everybody's having a wonderful 7-day evening and or day, etc. during the week, whenever you guys have managed to be joining us. Welcome to another episode of the podcast for Designated Inquirer. Tonight we're going to be talking about a summary of the things that went on today in terms of trading, collecting, in Pops, Pokemon cards, comic books, etc., and all things otherwise collectible in the nerding world. So we're gonna go ahead and I'm gonna move over to the area where I have a few things visually ready to show. They happen to be 4 packs of what's called Season 1 Rick and Morty trading card game, trading cards. They're called, Trading Cards Season 1. They're just trading cards. It's not a game. It's not anything like that. it just happens to be trading cards. They're really interesting, and apparently some of them are going for a decent amount of money. So I'm going to explain what I found, and I'm going to go over the meeting that I had today with a lady that wanted to know more or less what her cards were worth. She had a pretty decent collection of some of the original base set and whatnot. So let's get into it. So oh, also this week, if you guys would want to know, which seems probably, if you guys listen to this at a later date, probably a dated piece of information, but Pokemon is now coming to a pop near you. Target has just started to release basically pops for Pokemon, and they have started with the release of a Pikachu, a Target exclusive Pikachu, and it's really hard to get right now because I went to Target this morning. There are already 6 people in line, and they are only selling 6 per Target. So it's gonna be kind of tough to get one. If you're not getting one right now on eBay for at least maybe 40 bucks each, you're gonna have a hard time finding one, I think. Unless somebody doesn't know what they're worth and is selling them for less, then maybe you'll get lucky, but we'll see. We'll see what everything holds. Right now, yeah, so that's the current state, because I went out this morning. My fiance went out later in the day, later in the morning, nothing. And then I went out like a few hours after the meeting had happened, and still I could not find one, and or found out that they had all been bought. So this makes it kind of interesting in that, what does that even look like? Does that look interesting right there? Kind of. Okay, I can kind of set it there. It's kind of in the way, but kind of not. Alright, so yeah, let's go through, and I'm gonna, well, what's unique about these Rick and Morty packs, right? So these are Rick and Morty trading cards season 1. There are only 5 cards per pack. It seems kind of interesting. They're licensed by Adult Swim. They are made by Cryptozoic Entertainment, and the package reads 17 plus. So these are not exactly for kids, right? So if we go into the first one that I had opened earlier today, let's take a look here. These are kind of like your traditional trading cards that have edges to them. They are square cut. On the front they will have, you guys can see this pretty well, they will have a picture in the front depicting a scene from the show. This one says Human Shield. It basically shows Morty kind of angry and crying and mopey all at the same time, which is kind of his regular face, let's admit it. And on the back it reads basically what dialogue is being said in that scene. In this case it reads, quotes, "You're a perfect impenetrable suit of human armor, Morty, because you're as dumb as I am smart, which is why I say shut up. So when I say shut up, it's really good advice." End quotations, Rick. So yeah, so that's like an example of one. You have other ones, but in the middle of each one you have the chance at a few things. In this case here, it's a custom, or not easily found, basically looks like a tattoo, something that you would effectively add water to and put it onto your skin if you so chose. but these things are pretty rare, so I don't know if you'd actually want to add it to your skin. These tattoos are kind of chase tattoos, I think. I'm not exactly sure how rare they are. They're on the website for these cards. It shows how rare they are in like how many packs it takes to go through one in particular. One other one that I thought was kind of pretty notable was a different scene. It's named Trust. It's Morty showing the two graves basically out in the back where he's trying to convince Summer not to run away. And it reads, quotes, "I'm better than your brother. I'm a version of your brother you can trust when he says don't run. Nobody exists on purpose. Nobody belongs anywhere. Everybody's gonna die. Come watch TV. Morty." So that one's pretty cool. I kind of enjoy these. They're like kind of nice. There are like cards for Star Wars that are kind of in the same fashion, so I'm thinking that they're following that sort of template in a way. Those are made by Topps. This one here is basically another set of cards from the same first season. I'm assuming they're going to do the same for other seasons. Considering that we're on the third season already, it's I don't know. This one right here, it looks like it's part of two different sticker portions, because on the front, well, what looks like the front is what looks like K4 and what looks like a depiction of what is Anatomy Park. I don't actually remember seeing this episode, I think, of Anatomy Park. And on the back it shows a portion of what could be a Rick and Morty movie poster, and but the evil Morty with the eye patch on it, at least is what I can see. So that might be interesting to be able to get. So this one is K4. This is a sticker. These are so pretty much new that there isn't really a whole lot of information that I was able to find on eBay about it. I just know that they're pretty cool, and because of Rick and Morty, they're pretty awesome. I'm a fan of the show for a lot of different reasons. Some of those reasons are there's a certain crowd that follows the show. I don't follow it for those reasons. I'll just say that much. Some of them have other depictions, special depictions. They're just, yeah, other trading cards that happen to depict a character, looks like. Others are basically sketches done by the artists of the show. I think those are probably one of the more collectibles or higher end collectible of this particular series, where they have the sketches done by the dude that made the show, and it's like of the little, you know, cruddy, what's fabled to be the original drawings of Rick and Morty, where they kind of look like poop and their eye squiggles are clearly visible. All that stuff is yeah, apparently one of those went for over $1,000, so that's pretty interesting, and they happen to be signed by the same artist, so that's pretty cool. There are also, ooh, looks like I found, okay, so it looks like these stickers, they're not for kids. They happen to show sometimes graphic pictures and stuff, as the show does. Graphic things from the show. And that's kind of what makes them intriguing. This one with this one would probably put this 1 of 4, looks like. So if this one is case 6. So I'm not exactly sure how this goes, but there is a series This is part of a series, and I happened to get 2 different ones, so that's kind of cool. I can't. I'm probably gonna try and complete this particular depiction, so we'll see how that goes. I'll key you guys in on a later podcast to see if I can join these 4 or however many images to complete this what looks like a faux movie poster, right, of evil Morty and his subsequent Rick, right? These are pretty cool. Maybe if I get a really rare one, maybe I'll grade them. Who knows? Because if some of these are worth a decent amount, or somebody's already buying them worth a decent amount, maybe I go that route. Anyway, all right. So what else happened today? Yeah. So I went to basically meet with this lady that was looking to sell her collection. And when you do that, there's a couple things that you have to keep in mind, right? If you're asking for somebody to buy your collection, there's basically one of 2 people that you'll meet, right? One is a person that is going to buy your collection, in that they will be the end consumer, right? Where they are the collector, they want all of the cards that happen to be in your collection, and they're going to keep the cards for so long as they live, and or they need to sell it in a future date, right? Second kind of person that you're going to meet while trying to sell your collection is a person that will try and turn around and find these cards a new home, right? Or a permanent home, rather. Or even an intermediary home. Because they too, whoever it gets sold to subsequently, will also sell it to somebody else, maybe for a higher price, and or when they would need the money. So I happen to be in the second category, where a lot of the cards that she had would probably be going to secondary and or tertiary owners, right? They're basically cards trying to find their way to their intended homes, which we don't know their destination. This card, though, in particular, whether or not I end up keeping it, it is something special to me, so it might last a while before I get rid of it. This is from the base set, a Blastoise Unlimited number 2 of 102 Holo Rare. This is a card that I had, as a child, been on the lookout for. If some of my friends had loved Charizard, I didn't really, at the time, think too much of Charizard and or Venusaur. My boy Blue, Blastoise, was the guy that I wanted to collect. If I didn't have him, I basically wouldn't mind if I didn't get any other card. But alas, I did not buy enough packs to find said Blastoise. But now that I'm older and I have the money to do so, I can buy one. But I'm glad that I was able to get it off of this lady that had cherished her cards, that had kept them safe, and that basically I found one. I mean, they're all going to be of my childhood, but I'm glad that it was part of her childhood too, and that if I can help her in the future as well by either selling and or grading her cards, that would be pretty awesome. I hope that in this endeavor of buying and selling and trading and collecting, I find new friends and basically, yeah, compatriots to collecting these cards that mean so much to us in a lot of ways, and that this game, Pokemon, and or the franchise has brought a lot of, I don't want to say meaning, but a lot of, has enriched our lives. This form of art, to many what may seem childish, is a very rich way to live, I find. So I'm glad and blessed to be in a position where I can enjoy this hobby and other hobbies that happen to encompass Pokemon and or other nerd paraphernalia and or IPs rather, and yeah, that makes me happy. So if you guys enjoy it too, and listening to me and other nerdy content makes you happy, I'm happy for you too, and thank you for letting me entertain you. But I digress. Okay. What else happened this week? Oh yeah, there were a couple things that I managed to pick up from a Walgreens. So this goes along the tip portion of, I guess, the show, in that if you're looking to flip items, collectibles, etc., or whatnot, it will serve you well to kind of go off the beaten path, right? To go where usually people don't go for toys and or like collectibles and stuff like that. Walgreens happens to be one of these places. Unless you're in a not very populated area, a Walgreens may be the only place where you can get toys, etc., which is probably why they carry toys, etc. And they happen to carry some collectibles. So if you happen to live by a Walgreens, drop in there, see what you can find. The way I like to do it is I like to take my phone. I have the eBay app on there, and when you go to search, you have an option to basically search by image and or barcode. So for example, right now I have on the screen McFarlane Toys. This particular toy is of the series The Walking Dead from AMC, and the character in question is Negan. Which, however it is that you feel about Negan, is not all that important, but what you do need to know is that he is kind of collectible. But this particular character inside of that Walgreens was on clearance, and I managed to pick him up for like $4, maybe $5, and he's currently selling for around 20-25, and so I plan to just kind of hold on to him for a little while, because he's pretty iconic in what is The Walking Dead, and he's a dude responsible for spoilers, for taking out another main character, and which happened to be very beloved for a decent amount of time. So yeah, so I think he would be kind of cool to hold on to see like basically where his price ends up. But it's kind of interesting to find him at a place like Walgreens, where I wouldn't normally expect to find collectibles, but he's there. There also happen to be pop exclusives to Walgreens, which is kind of amazing. I guess they sell enough toys where it can warrant that. Another few pickups that I got were some Kingdom Hearts soldier figures. So this one in particular right here being shown is by Diamond Select Toys. It is of the Disney Kingdom Hearts series, and these two characters are Shadow and Soldier action figures. I unfortunately was not in a position as a child to have a PlayStation, because I had to pick basically one type of a platform, and I did not pick PlayStation. I picked Xbox and Nintendo. So I had a Nintendo 64, an Xbox One, 2, and 360, and an Xbox One. So that was my trajectory of video games. So I did not get the opportunity to enjoy Kingdom Hearts, but this is another one that was basically on clearance, and that by itself was probably around $15 or so going on eBay, but this one was on clearance for like $3 to $5 again. But together with the Mickey, and the Sora action figure. All three of them together, which I guess may be hard to get or not hard to get, are worth a lot more altogether. Kind of like putting together pieces of the Triforce or rings from the Infinity Gauntlet. Yeah, I guess, yeah, they would be rings and or stones, rather. Stones from the Infinity Gauntlet. Together, they probably have more power to hold money together than possibly one by itself. At least that's what I saw on eBay. So yeah, these were some of the pickups that I made this week, which I thought were kind of interesting, and that it gave me kind of like a new technique in my pockets, in my toolbox of collecting, as to like where I can look for collectibles in pretty decent shape. These boxes were not worse for wear. There's maybe like a little bit of denting, but otherwise pretty minty looking boxes and figures. So I'm happy that I found these where I found them, and I'm happy to have spent said dollars in order to get them. What else happened this week? Oh yeah, I happened to complete my organization of, which is not a lot, but it happens to be of the commons and uncommons, of the non-hollows, non-reverse hollows of my sidekicks, right? So I have them all basically categorized now. I took all of the sidekicks, put them in a box, and then I started to categorize them by set. So if you happen to have, if you have a lot of cards and you wanted to sell them, you could do it a couple ways, right? One is to sell it to a card shop in bulk, where your commons and uncommons would basically get you roughly a penny per card, and where they basically pay you about 20 bucks per 1,000 cards, right? So it's not a whole lot. But if you take the time to basically see how many of each card you have and what cards you have, you can get a lot more money for your cards. If I take the time to sell these, for example, let me see if I can find them in here. For example, Shining Legends. This Ekans in particular right here. Okay, so this is Shining Legends Ekans. Normally this card would cost possibly around 5 cents each, but because I've taken the time to categorize them, etc., on eBay, you can sell each one of these for about 25 cents to 50 cents a piece. So depending on what you can get, how you market them, etc., you can get a lot more than what a shop would give you for it, basically selling it as bulk. So if you don't take the time, somebody else will, and will extract more value from their cards than if you do the work. I happen to have around 20 of these, so 20 of, let's say at 50 cents a piece, that's $2.20. So divided by 2, that's like 10 bucks worth of cards instead of like 20 cents. So in terms of math, that's 5 times 10, that's around 50 times the value. So doing some work can pay off in terms of collecting, etc. If you take the time to do it. At least that's what I'm planning to do with these cards and my other ones. I'm kind of building up an inventory system. I'm you know, basically separating it by type and set. I'm using the TCG Player app, which is super useful. it has its own scanning capability, so you can basically show it a card, and it will tell you what its name is, what set it's from, I think the type, its weakness, I think it's attack, HP, it'll tell you whether or not it's basic, whether or not it's hollow, and it'll give you, you can ask it for a price, whether or not it's the market price, whether it's TCG mid, which is what most card shops will use as a selling price. So not necessarily the most beat up condition and not necessarily the most minty condition. They will take a middle of the road condition. So basically, what is the average price asked for on tcgplayer.com? So, and a card shop will, from what I've heard now from a couple of different shops, they will offer roughly 60% of TCG mid prices. So if you were planning to sell your cards, whether or not they'll take all your commons and uncommons at value at 60% of TCG mid, you can probably sell your hollows, your GXs, your secret rares, your maybe some more valuable or in the meta trainer cards, etc. at that price. So if you needed to liquidate, that could be an option for you. Yeah, or if you needed some form of liquidity where you had to get rid of some cards quickly for a given amount of money, or for a substantial amount of money, that could be your way to do it. So let's see how much time we've got here. We've gone roughly live recording. I hope I'm recording. Yes, I'm recording. Let's see, we're at roughly 30 minutes, which is cool. Hey, Insomniac. Gang. Cool. You. What is that about? I want them on my skin. What? Interesting. I'm just reading. I happen to be reading the chat because I don't get to read the chat usually. Repping the lab rats. Cool. Hello, Real Lexivus. Yeah. Interesting. Anyway. I'm happy I have people that watch me. Recently, okay, so I've taught you guys roughly how I store my cards, depending on whether or not they're going to be graded by a PSA. What I haven't taught you guys is how I send stuff in the mail. So what I generally do, as I'll show you guys right now, is I'll take Perfect Fits, which is the slightly smaller size but really good fit of a particular, like a trading card, generally a trading card. And I'll take my card. I'll take a card. Let me just grab a card. Let's see here. We'll use this one. And the pack finish completely opening. 1 second, guys. Alrighty. Okay, so this card in particular, which is not in the best shape, which usually promos are not generally. This is a Curlia Stage 1 from Burning Shadows, but this is the alternative art, which was released with the Ultra Prism packs singles. So what I do is I get a Perfect Fit, You go ahead and take the card, go ahead and place it in a perfect fit. Okay, let me grab a piece of cardboard that I usually use. I go ahead and place it inside of, right now I'm using these semi-rigids, etc. Like so. You go ahead and you place it as easily as you can down the middle of a semi-rigid, so it's kind of easy for them to remove the card as well. So once it's in here, I have a piece of cardboard which kind of is roughly the dimensions of this trading card, which is of cardstock more or less. It's double-sided and it kind of sandwiches this entire thing. I go ahead and place it in there, and then I go ahead and I wrap this basically with the slip that says what they've purchased, what their address is, what my address is, or who am I as the seller, what I sold them, and how much they paid, right? So basically an invoice. They've already paid at that point. I go ahead and I wrap it. I will go ahead and place one piece of tape covering, so this is the opening. I will sandwich it basically around the opening, where the part that's closed, I will go ahead and use a piece of tape around the part that's closed that's nowhere near the card, and then I will, once that's been sandwiched closed, I would go ahead and wrap, basically using the invoice to wrap this together. I would use, you know how you fold it basically in thirds so it would fit into a regular size envelope. You basically do that, you fold it into thirds, you place the card basically inside of the three-fold. You use one piece of tape along the edge of your card, or part that encloses the card, along with the invoice, and you take that whole three fold sheet of paper with your card and everything, you place it inside. Then you would basically take one last piece of tape and you would place your sheet of paper, which is in here. You take one last piece of tape and you place it along here. If you guys on the podcast, it would be where you can kind of open the envelope, and it would be along the inside. So that's where I go ahead and I tape it, and then you lick this closed. On the front, this altogether would weigh about an ounce roughly, and so you only need one stamp, so I would use one stamp, and then I also use a forever stamp. If it happens to go above 1 ounce, if these are 50 cents roughly right now as of the recording of this podcast slash video, there are also stamps that happen to be for additional ounces. So additional ounces are 20 cents stamps. These are 50 cents. So you wouldn't want to use another 50 cents for an additional ounce. You would want to use an additional ounce stamp. So instead of $1 worth of shipping, you're using 70 cents worth of shipping. So that's how you can cut down and minimize your cost. You can use a top loader as well. The same would basically go for how it would be roughly the same amount of weight. So you can still use the same method. So that's how you go ahead and you ship your cards. If you ask the post office, they also have basically tracking numbers that you can place on the envelope itself. If you want them to track it themselves and or run it through machines to be able to scan and stuff, with that tracking number, it would cost about $3. But if you put the tracking number there and you send it with the tracking number, it can be tracked. Whether or not they scan it or not is not up to, it would be up to the individual mail person to scan, but it would give you some sort of like continuity between like what you place the envelope with, so you can have that number for your records that yes, you sent it You can take a picture of it. You can basically have proof that it was sent, etc. So that you can basically minimize the liability that's on you when you're shipping cards, etc. So that's my tip as to how to ship individual cards that you either happen to sell and or trade. If you are trading, a PSA graded card, you basically want to use a different protocol. So you're not going to want to send one of these inside of a regular envelope. Even though it fits, you don't want to do that. This is a little too heavy. You at minimum want to use a bubble mailer, and at most, depending on the cost of the card, depending on if you're making a lot of money on it or whatnot, you can use the $6 to basically send a flat rate shipping box with some bubble wrap to send your card in PSA casing. They can, I have received these in a bubble mailer before, and it's okay so long as you make sure that you put on the package itself that it's fragile, to make sure, one, that you're paying for it at the post office, because what you buy there, if you're paying for tracking, etc., you can buy effectively insurance on the package itself. If you're sending something of notable value, make sure you buy insurance. You don't want this to get lost and or stolen, and you have zero recourse to either pay back your customer and or be reimbursed for what was sent and or lost and or stolen. So keep that in mind. So yeah, those are the tips for today, and basically what we can safely go through. Let me, as far as Pokemon cards are concerned, let me see if there's anything else that I want to talk about. Not really. I think that's pretty much everything. Yeah. Other than that, I hope everybody is having a wonderful Sunday. I've recently been playing No Man's Sky Next. That was pretty awesome. I've liked it. There have been a ton of improvements with basically the game from the beginning. There is multiplayer now. You can co-build bases. You can share resources together. You can actually build a base, where in the beginning there was zero base that you can build. There are vehicles. There's plenty of recipes. There are more wide-ranging types of animals, ships. There are now frigates that you can purchase. There's so much going on now in No Man's Sky. It's pretty impressive. At least I think so. Yeah, thank you everybody for joining me on this podcast. I'm gonna stop recording the podcast itself, but I may continue with the stream. So if you guys want to stick around for a little bit more video games and or chatting, etc., feel free. Those of you on the podcast, thank you for joining me very much and for being patient for waiting a week without basically a podcast to speak of. Yeah, thank you guys. So here's the recording to end. Thank you, and I'll see you guys next week and or later this week, because I owe you guys a podcast. I'll see you then. Take care. And there we go. That was the end of that recording. Sweet. So that was recorded, basically all the video and the audio all together. Oh man, I really need to turn on this fan because I am dying of heat. So how was that, guys? I hope everybody enjoyed it, at least a little bit. But yeah, it's hot. I'm gonna turn on this fan. Give me 1 second. Whew. Can you guys hear that fan, by the way? Just let me know. Oh man, that feels better. Sweet. Hey, Cassie. Thank you very much for that. And may I very much welcome you to the Squirtle Squad. Thank you, thank you. Thank you very much. Welcome. You're now part of the Squirtle Squad. I should really change... Thank you. I should really change that that little GIF. You love Pokemon? Sweet! I do too. I can't. It's perfect. Alright. Awesome. Thanks, Insomniac. Let's welcome Cassie, everybody. I'm glad she's joining us, being a member of the Squirtle Squad. I'm glad you enjoyed that that podcast, etc. It's everywhere. I think you can hear it. I don't think it's on Apple Music yet. Oh, sweet. You could follow me there too if you wish. Because I'm sweet. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, Cassie. Sweet. Do you like Sea of Thieves or let's see. What else do I play? Oh yeah. No Man's Land, World of Warcraft. Because I play those as well. On a weekly basis, I'll do this podcast. And then I'll also play video games from time to time as a stream. How are you doing tonight, Insomniac? I'm glad you're here. If you wanted to jump in, or if you happen to be on, I don't know if I've given you guys entry to the sweet. Oh yeah, Pokemon Go as well. I play that, which is, I think, pretty fun. Let me get you guys my do you play Pokemon Go, Cassie? Because you could probably make a few friends right now if you want to. Let me go ahead and get you guys my friend code. And do you have my Discord, Insomniac? I forget whether or not I do. Hope everybody's having a good night. 'Cause tomorrow I gotta go to work. Working is not very fun. But I guess it should not necessarily should be. I guess that's why they call it work. That's really awesome. That's cool. That's pretty cool. I have a friend of... oh, okay. Alright, cool. Let me go ahead and send you an invite to that. Oh, hello. Who's that? What did you do? Did you follow on Twitch? It hasn't told me yet. What happened? I don't know what happened. Pew. Let's see. Oh, it says, okay, it says Cassie. Cool. Yay. All right. On Twitch. Sweet. Let's see. All right. It's taking a little bit to load into Pokemon Go. I'm not exactly sure why. Here, let me get you guys. LOL. Sweet. Thank you. Let me go ahead and bring up my... Let me go to my channel. If you could say something, Insomniac, in the chat, because I happen to be on in the chat room at the moment. Let me see. Oh, there you go. I found you. Ah. Whoa, okay, cool. Alright, I'm trying to whisper you my... Oh, you're hosting me! Dude, thank you! Keep... Alright, hold on. How do I... How do I whisper? Whisper... Whisper... No? I don't know how to do this. Lol. Super hype. Thank you, thank you, thank you. DM on Twitter. Oh, that's right. But I'm trying to... Alright, let me get an invite. Copy. Oh yeah, Twitter. Alright, we'll do that. Twitter. Log in. Designated link. Cool. Never. Let's go to Force. Let's find, there he is. Let's send a direct message and send. There you go. And you should be able to join my Discord now. Ta-da! Sweet. That was a very roundabout way of doing it, but it's done. Very cool. Alright, I'm just going to profile next. Cool. Oh. Alright, so does anybody have any questions? Any questions, anybody? Sweet. Yay, it worked. Nice. Did you have any questions, Cassie, about what you saw? About any of the cards? If there was something that you wanted to see again? Oh darn. Something that you wanted to see, something that you didn't get a chance to see. Anything that you'd like to look at a little bit closer, anything like that? Let me know. Lol. We're slowly getting more people in here. Very cool. I'm glad. I'm gonna get some water. If anybody could kind of keep each other a little entertained. I'll be right back. I need to drink something. My throat is pretty dry. So I'll be right back, you guys. Thank you guys very much for all of your attention, for your time. I very much appreciate it. Give me 1 second. Ta-da! it is totally possible to get a Squirtle with glasses. Here, let me see if I can show you. I never signed me in, what the hell? Maybe because I have so many things open. Let me try that. Yeah, I'll show you some. I have a shiny with glasses in Pokemon Go. So it is completely and totally possible. There's a couple more things that I forgot to show you guys, which I'll probably add into the next podcast. But you guys will be able to see it right now because you guys are here. 1 second. If any of you guys follow Gary Vee, I do have a pair of his shoes. I have 2 pairs, one for myself and one to sell. These are his 003. It's basically third collaboration with K-Swiss. 1 second. Yeah. The next piece is this guy. He's huge. He's taking up the entire screen. This is Dobby with sock. He is a pop. He's like 12 inches or so large. He's huge. He's only available at Target, and he's roughly worth around $50 online, but $30 at Target. He's not exactly easy to find, and he's pretty collectible at the moment. Exactly. Of course I'd have a shiny Squirtle here, because that was during the community day. I told you to go out during the community day. So there's a couple shinies. I'll show you a regular shiny real quick. See if I can show you. So that's the shiny Squirtle. Okay. And this is a Squirtle with glasses. They're not the Squirtle Squad glasses. I don't know if you guys can see that. You guys see them alright? So that's a Squirtle. Technically that's their first attempt at making a Squirtle with glasses. Sunglasses. Then there's a shiny with glasses. And then the piece de resistance. I have also a shiny Blastoise with shiny Blastoise with glasses. So he's Papa Blastoise. So that's the those are my Squirtle shinies, Squirtle family of shinies in Pokemon Go. Yeah. I also have a shiny Charizard, which was the previous Pokemon Go community day. So whenever there's a community day, you need to get out there and get these, because they're otherwise intensely hard to get in the wild. I don't even know if you can get a Squirtle with glasses out in the wild. I don't think it's possible. You could maybe get in a blue moon a Squirtle that happens to be a shiny, but don't bet on anything to find a Squirtle with glasses that also happens to be shiny. Good luck with that. That was only available on the Squirtle community day, so maybe they'll have another one in the future. When, I don't know. And hopefully with a more accurate representation of Squirtle Squad glasses. For the love of God, I hope they do that. So yeah, that's the Dobby Pop. He's freaking huge. There's also happens to be a Scrooge McDuck at the moment that happens to be the same size, which he's popping out of gold coins like in the show in DuckTales, because Scrooge McDuck was pretty awesome in that show. If you remember it when we were kids. Yeah. Ooh, something else I picked up, which is currently on clearance at Target is these little Lucios from Overwatch. They're from Cute But Deadly. This is the box, and they happen to be on clearance right now for $2.98. They're probably going for around $11, $8, $15 right now, and I got them at $3 a piece. I happen to have 4 here, but there's a decent amount of them. I'm just hoping that they climb up to maybe $20. I'd be happy at $20 to sell 4 of them at 20. I don't have that much of an attachment to Lucio himself, but that would be pretty cool. So, blue right there. Yeah. So that's what's going on, guys. That's what's up. That's what's up. That's what's up. I hope everybody's had a good time. Let's see here. What shall we play? Hey, Insomniac, you down to do a little bit of sailing for the time being? We could do that for about... maybe not. I don't know. Because I do need to cook my lunch for tomorrow. I could probably... maybe I should go to... I don't know. Lol. I'm not sure what I want to do at the moment. Pew. I kind of want to jump in and get maybe like a sunken ship or something, because I know in a couple days is ooh, you know what, let me check Target. Let me make sure that it hasn't gone live yet. Oh cool, no problem. I'm glad you're having fun. Let's see. Nothing. Dang, it hasn't even shown up. Criminy. Let's see here if, let me see if... there's some Pikachus that are being sold right now for $39, but with $7 shipping or $10 shipping. But that's as cheap as they get right now. That's the Pikachu pop. Let me show you guys an image real quick. That's basically what he looks like. Let me see if... yeah, that's what he looks like right now. I managed to get one for $45 including shipping because I couldn't find one in person. I hope they have some sort of restock, because otherwise I'm only going to be able to have one. And that's basically going to open the floodgates as far as Pokemon pops are concerned, so that's going to be pretty interesting. But yeah. Alrighty, so I think I'm going to go ahead and end the stream here now, I guess. Thank you everybody for joining me. Thank you guys. I hope everybody had fun. And I'll catch you guys later this week for some No Man's Sky, some World of Warcraft, and or some Sea of Thieves. But yeah, thanks everybody again, and I'll catch you guys later. Thank you. Bye. And gang, 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 gang. That's our official hello and goodbye for the Squirtle Squad. Alright guys, take care. Good night.